Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Hawk was the first Miyagi-Do student during the events of Cobra Kai Season 1? So in this timeline, the events of Cobra Kai Season 1 would still happen. Johnny would still reopen Cobra Kai in this timeline, and he would still train Miguel. Those events would stay the same. Daniel would still find out that Cobra Kai was back. Daniel would still want to take down Cobra Kai. So the rivalry between Johnny and Daniel would start to grow. Miguel would still be friends with Eli and Dimitri, and the events of Season 1 would continue. Miguel would still fight Kyler in the cafeteria, so many students would want to join. Eli and Dimitri would still have an interest in joining Cobra Kai, so they would still show up to the Cobra Kai dojo. Johnny would still see Eli, and he would still call him Lip. Eli would still be upset, and he would still walk out of Cobra Kai, and the events of Cobra Kai would continue. Eli would still want to learn karate, but he wouldn't want to go back to Cobra Kai. Daniel would get back into karate, and he would still want to find someone to do it with him, but no one would be interested. And in this timeline, Eli would be the one to get a job at LaRusso Auto. Those events would continue. Since Robbie never went to Daniel in this timeline, he would continue living his life, and he would continue stealing with Trey and Cruz. Eventually they would be arrested, so Trey and Cruz would go to jail, and Robbie would go to juvie. Johnny would want to visit Robbie in juvie, but Robbie wouldn't want anything to do with Johnny. Daniel would see Eli around the dealership, and he would notice that he was pretty shy, so Daniel would want to get to know Eli. So Eli and Daniel would start building their connection, and eventually Daniel would ask Eli if he wanted to learn karate. Eli would still be interested in learning, and he would say yes. So Daniel would start training Eli in Miyagi-Do. Eli would eventually gain his confidence, and the events of Cobra Kai would continue. Miguel and Sam would still start dating, and Miguel would hear that Eli was training with Daniel, but he wouldn't see Eli or Miyagi-Do as an enemy, so Eli and Miguel would remain friends. Eli would tell Miguel that Daniel wasn't a fan of Cobra Kai, but Eli would want to introduce Miguel to Daniel so that he would change his mind. So Eli would introduce Daniel to Miguel. Daniel would see that Cobra Kai wasn't so bad, and he would approve of Miguel. Eli would eventually convince Dimitri to join Miyagi-Do, so Dimitri would decide to give karate a second chance. Dimitri would join Miyagi-Do in this timeline, and he would still have a hard time learning the moves. And much like in the original timeline, Johnny and Daniel would start to become friends. The night of the All Valley, Cobra Kai would compete, and they would start winning their matches. Miyagi-Do would also enter, but only Eli would compete, and he would start winning his matches. Eli and Miguel would make it to the finals, but Miguel would defeat Eli in this timeline, and he would be the All Valley champion. The season would end in a very similar way. Carice would still come back in this timeline, and both Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do would continue to train, but Miyagi-Do wouldn't be open to the public in this timeline. Since Sam and Miguel didn't break up in this timeline, Sam wouldn't join Miyagi-Do, and there wouldn't be a rivalry between the students of Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. And that is where I'm gonna end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Hawk had been the first Miyagi-Do student during the events of Cobra Kai Season 1? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.